Bitfarms took off yesterday. We are going to look into the investor presentation to see what caused that bullishness yesterday. We're also going to look at the digital earnings that came out. I'm going to show a couple of different results from that. And also, let's talk about the news real quick. First of all, today, the economic calendar is showing that there are quite a lot of Feds on deck. In fact, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different Feds speaking today. So be careful. Don't get scared. It is going to be a volatile day today. We also had the initial jobless claims today. And now it's not showing up on the calendar quite yet in terms of what the actual number was, but the estimation was 221,000. And if we go over here, the U.S. Department of Labor has published that it was 222,000, coming in 1,000 over the estimate. So it is falling in line, which is essentially what the Fed wants. So that might be good for the market. We'll see. We'll see exactly. We'll take a look and see what's going on there. But that is showing more signs that the Fed has room to cut rates. So we've had CPI coming in lower. We've got unemployment coming in higher. So those are the things that the Fed wanted to see in order to be confident in their rate cuts. Now, that doesn't mean everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows here, because when the 10 and 2-year treasuries uninvert, we might see a recession. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. And we'll keep our eyes very closely glued to the market here. We might be saved by a few different factors here, one of which I'll go over at the end of the video here today. So first of all, let's get into the Bitfarms presentation. Not that one, this one. So I know BitDigital has theirs as well, but I'm not going to do both in one video. That'd be way too long. I'll take a look at BitDigital's tomorrow and we'll talk about that. First of all, let's talk about Bitfarms. They had a really awesome presentation. Now, actually, before I get into that, I wanted to mention that TradingView yesterday, I guess I'm not going to use TradingView. I know I've said it before. It's just so convenient to be able to just click on the little button and get the information I want. But it turns out that the information that they are giving me is not great. So this little estimate right here is actually on the lower end, this minus 0.018 estimated expectation of earnings per share for Bitfarms. There's actually a range, and they chose the lower from the range, which resulted in them having a worse surprise than expected. And you'll see in some other, I'll illustrate that with BitDigital's today and how sometimes these earnings, at least the information being put out about them, is easily skewed depending on the platform where you're getting it. And I guess I'm going to have to gather it from multiple platforms going forward and not just rely on TradingView, which is unfortunate, and that makes me sad because I like being able to just click on this thing and have it pop up. It's visually pleasing. It's easy for the flow of the videos in the morning, but that is not going to be what we're able to do anymore, unfortunately. So I apologize to anyone that got upset about this particular information here that is showing up on TradingView. I guess I cannot trust TradingView going forward. Let's take a look at the presentation for Bitfarms, because this thing was actually really good. So if we come down, let me get down here. So we've got a couple of really interesting things here. So one, reiterating that 12 exahash in Q2. If they nail this, based on yesterday's price action, if they nail this here in Q2 2024, I think we're going to be doing exceptionally well with Bitfarms, especially if they get their CEO in place and things start looking like the drama is settling and they're just going towards executing their plan. Bitfarms is looking very strong there. And I'm very happy that I have a nice big bag of Bitfarms, especially I was very happy with that yesterday. The only thing that makes me sad is I can't buy more for less money. That's the only thing that's got me down about Bitfarms. Yeah, I am a bag holder of Bitfarms. I have quite a lot of Bitfarms. I do believe in Bitfarms. I'm very happy to be holding Bitfarms, and I do believe that they're going to be doing very well this year and next year. Anyways, of course, it's not financial advice, not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Simply what I'm doing with my portfolio. And you're here for the journey. Okay, so anyways, we're going to be doing Q2. They want to get to 12. By the end of the year, they want to get to 21. They get to 21, they are going to end up being a much, much bigger player than they have been in the past in the Bitcoin mining space. So keep an eye out on Bitfarms. This is going to get real interesting real fast, especially if they execute on this 12 exahash in Q2. That is really setting the stage for their ability to complete their roadmaps, and if they can show that they can complete their roadmaps, and they pull in a CEO that the street likes, we're going to be doing super, super well on Bitfarms, and I'm very excited about this, actually. I'm very excited. The other thing that's super exciting here is they had a 40% fleet efficiency improvement. Efficiency is key here. So keeping your power costs down and your efficiency up, those are the things that are just so extremely important in the mining business, and they are doing both exceptionally well. And I'm very happy to be seeing this report today. Like, I was just, when I finally was able to sit down and dig into this report, I was like, wow, that's why it went 14% yesterday. So this is really good. Um, let's see here, miner efficiency. Where's the year over year stuff? Let me see. Where was it at? Where was it at? Oh yeah, you can see here their price, their energy prices. 84% of their energy price is 4 to 4.7 cents, and 16% of it is 3 to 4 cents. 3 to 4 cents. This is their I think it's in Paraguay, that their new site. They were mentioned it was like 3.6 cents or something for their Paraguay site. Anyways, 4 cents is actually, it's really good, especially for the miners that they have. Hold on, I'll bring up the thing right now. You can see the electricity prices between, 3 to 4.7 cents, depending on their site. And if I bring this up here, so they've got mostly T21s and S21 miners. The S21 miners all the way here on the right, you can see at 4 to 5 cents, we're looking at just over $20,000 of electricity cost to mine a Bitcoin based on the miners that they have. Now let me go back over here, and if you come down here, this is a comparison, as you can see, to the Antminer S21 to the T21. These are the two miners that they have mostly at Bitfarms. You can see that they're very close in terms of their hash rate. T21s are 190 at 3,600 watts, and then the S21 is 200 terahash at 3,500 watts. So they're very, very close in terms of their performance, their efficiency. So we would be looking at around, somewhere in the range here between $20,000 and $30,000 per Bitcoin mined for Bitfarms. And with a current price over $66,000 on Bitcoin, they're doing exceptionally well in terms of how much profit they're making per Bitcoin mined. So that is fantastic. That is great to see. I love seeing that. We can come down here, and yeah, you can see they're reporting their their cost mostly. So at what? So at 7.1 exahash here. Let's see here, the current 7. So they're looking somewhere around 37, between 35 and 37,000 is what they're reporting as their cost to mine a Bitcoin, which again is also exceptionally well considering the current price of Bitcoin. So this is actually really great. I was really happy to see this. They're making tons of profit off of each Bitcoin. In terms of electricity costs, of course there are other costs factored in, which is why they didn't report an overall profit, but which is also due to accounting rules that they don't enjoy since they're coming out of Canada and not the United States. The American miners get the benefit of special accounting rules that the Canadian miners don't get. So that is another reason that they showed up as unprofitable, but yet, ran 14%. So a lot of things to keep in mind here. There's a lot of moving parts. The only thing to remember is I am bullish on Bitfarms. I hold a lot of Bitfarms. That doesn't, and of course, that is not financial advice and not a suggestion advice that I hold any asset whatsoever. That's the important things to remember. Bitfarms is doing pretty great. Anyways, this is going over all their different sites. Let's take a look here. This is what I wanted to see. Okay, so their revenue quarter over quarter is up 9%. That's great. Could be a little better than that, but that's good. Okay, I'm happy with that. Year over year, though, this is where it gets real interesting. Their revenue is up 67% year over year. That right there, that's why their stock went up 14% yesterday. That year over year revenue growth, wow. Their year over year margin is up over 10%. That's awesome. Their quarter over quarter is up 7%. That's awesome. This right here, just the numbers, because the street likes numbers. Wall Street likes numbers. These numbers are good. These numbers are great. That's why this thing popped 14% yesterday. And if they can do this next quarter as well, you better believe they're going to get another double-digit pop on the next earnings. So that'll be pretty amazing. Maybe even over the summer, we might see some return of some big capital into Bitfarms that was letting it go right before all this CEO stuff broke, which makes you wonder if they were aware of some of the things that were coming, the headwinds that were coming out here out of Bitfarms, and perhaps traded it ahead of us and kind of dumped on us as retail. That makes me quite suspicious of some of those moves, especially from you, BlackRock. I was watching. looking at all the institutional inflows and saw the outflows from BlackRock right before all the drama came out. So that's something to be aware of as well. Let's take a look here. That's about all I really wanted to look at. Just those things. I like these little highlights at the end too here, right? This is like the most important things to remember. They've got their leverage exposure to Bitcoin. They're long Bitcoin, of course. They've got their low cost, high efficiency. That's amazing. They got a pretty strong balance sheet. This could be debated right now considering the current drama, but I'd like for this to be true. If this ends up being true really soon, I think we're going to see some really big moves out of Bitfarms here, and I'm very excited about that. Anyways, let's go on to Bit Digital. All right, Bit Digital, according to TradingView, and I'm going to show like 4 different ones because apparently I have to, because they can't just tell me the truth. According to TradingView, the earnings for Bit Digital came out amazingly. They beat on EPS by 3,340%. Now that's again because of the special accounting rules as an American miner, whoops, that allows them to use their Bitcoin as part of their earnings per share. Great. That turned out great. They might not have been profitable otherwise, I'm not sure, because I didn't see those numbers. Then the revenue came out at a 9.26% beat, which was fantastic. The only other miner showing numbers like this was CleanSpark. And you know what CleanSpark's been doing. Keep your eyes on Bit Digital. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, let's go. Let's see. Yeah, so let's go look at some others. Okay, earnings according to Seeking Alpha, it was a beat of 44%, or a beat of 44 cents on their GAAP earnings per share, which means that for some reason Seeking Alpha believed that the estimated earnings per share was going to be -1 cent. So that's a lot different from what it says here, where the estimate was positive 1.3 cents. So that's a big discrepancy, actually, from Seeking Alpha to TradingView. Okay, that's something to be aware of. Revenue actual was 30.3 million is what they're reporting, a beat by 1.83 million. What was the beat here? According to TradingView, the beat was 2.5 million. There was a surprise of 2.5 million according to TradingView, but according to Seeking Alpha, there was a beat by 1.83 million. You see how I can get numbers wrong sometimes? All right, let's go find a third one. According to Street Insider, the Q1 earnings per share beat for Bit Digital was 39 cents. I thought Seeking Alpha just said it was 44-cent beat. And then I thought that, actually this one's pretty close. This one's saying is a 41-cent beat. So TradingView saying a 41-cent beat. Seeking Alpha saying a 44-cent beat. Street Insider saying a 39-cent beat. These are all different, every single one. You see my frustration here when I try to bring forward information? They're all different. They're all telling me stuff that is different. Now let's go to close this ad. Let's see here. Did Market Beat actually show me what's going on here yet? Let's see. So TipRanks is showing an estimate of 1 cent and a report of 43 cents, which is slightly different than the others as well. Let's take a look at their revenue. Do they have revenue? Show me the revenue. I don't think they do. I don't like TipRanks as much. Yeah, it's not even showing it to me. I don't even see it. Give me a second. No, it's not even there. Okay. Not that one. Not that one. Okay. So anyways, 3 different sites, 3 different reports, 3 different numbers. See what I'm saying here in terms of trying to bring forward the earnings? It seems to be a mess. It doesn't seem like anybody's telling me the whole truth. And it's a little bit frustrating, which is why I would really like to be able to just use TradingView because it has a nice click. Hey, there it is. But then I go over to Seeking Alpha and it's different. And I go over to Street Insider and it's different. So it's kind of really frustrating there. Of course, Bit Digital's on its own site will probably have some quarter-over-quarter differences. They don't always tell you the estimates on their own website, though, which is also kind of annoying. But I guess because the estimates are coming from outside sources and not their own, and they'd rather not report on what other people are saying about them, I guess. I don't know. It makes sense, I suppose. Anyways, Bit Digital was a beat. And Bit Digital's got some really amazing, awesome stuff going on its chart right now. So you see this downtrend here? That started on February 14th. Guess what we just did yesterday? We broke out of it. We're not in that anymore. We're solidly outside of it. We stay outside of this thing for a couple of days. I'm feeling very bullish. I'm feeling very bullish about $3. We stay out of this for a couple of days. Now, that doesn't mean it can't break down tomorrow, but it does mean if we hold outside of this thing, I'm very bullish about $3. And I'll show you a couple other things. If we go to the weekly, we can see that we had a bit of a bull flag right here the last 2 weeks, and now we're breaking out. If we close up and above $2.54, which would just get us above the candle from April 8th there, I am looking for a very swift move up to about 268, which followed by possible continuation up to that $3 mark. We are in a very special time of year right now. We're in the summer run area right now. Okay, we're looking at hopefully something similar to like what happened back here in 2023, where we went up how many percent? Let's take a look. From bottom to top, it was, yeah, it was 381%. Now, am I expecting that move again? Not really. Not really expecting that particular move again. 381%. I mean, just for fun, let's see where that would take us. 381%. I'm gonna need to get this a lot bigger. All right, here we go. 381, where would it take us? $8.43. That's insane. You better believe I'll be taking some profit. We get to $8.43 in the next couple of months. That's nuts. Let's see what happened here. No, I'll take a look at that in a minute, actually. So I'm actually pretty excited about this. We're breaking the channel on the daily. We've broken it on the weekly. We're getting close to breaking it. If the candle here closes up where it is for the weekly and we open up next week outside of this downward channel, I am feeling very bullish. I'm feeling very bullish in that scenario. In that scenario, it needs to break this channel. This weekly candle needs to close outside of this downward channel. Next week needs to open again outside of this channel. It does that, I'm going to be feeling very, very bullish on this. Now, there are some issues ahead. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, as I keep saying, because we've got a 20-week SMA holding us down at $2.61. Even if we conquer that, we have the 50-week SMA at $2.84 above. We need to get above both of those things, and we need to do it decisively. Otherwise, they're going to slap us right back down. So keep that in mind. Like, the room to run is about $2.85, 84 cents before these SMAs act as resistance and start trying to bear down on us again. That is something we need to keep in mind. Now, if we go back here to previous times we broke those, like back here in, let's see here, yeah, back here in last January 2023, we were below both the 20 and the 50. We came up, rejected off the 50, got back to the 20, bounced off the 20, and then decisively moved up past the 50. That is a move that we could see. That would be awesome. The better move, the one that I'd really like to see. Now, of course, this was coming down using it as support, but where we just bounced off it and took off and just sliced through SMAs like they were nothing. I'd like to see a move like that. Not really expecting it though. I am expecting something more like coming up to $2.84, coming back down to about 260, maybe 255, and then from there starting to see a bounce up, slicing back up above that 50 SMA over $3, and then on our way we go. That's what I'm kind of expecting will happen, because the 50-week SMA is it's a tough one sometimes. I mean, we haven't even tested it in a while. I know we tested it once back here in March and then got slapped down again. And that could be what's happening. But the fact that the 20 is below the 50 means that once we get back up to the 50, we have that support level at the 20. Just like we did back here in March 2023, where it came up in January to the 50, came down to the 20 in March, and then from there we use that as a springboard to take off. I'm looking for a move like that right now. That's what I want to see, is to come up to the 50, bounce back or reject down to the 20, and use that as a springboard to launch us up and higher into July, hopefully July, maybe sooner. I don't know. We'll see. It really depends on what Bitcoin is doing, if I'm being completely honest there. So that is really exciting there. Let's take a look at Bitfarms, sorry. Bitfarms today. How's Bitfarms doing today? I was doing some fib stuff yesterday. It was honestly nothing I really want to bring up right now. Never mind. Let's see what's going on. Bitfarms is up for the week, 6%. Let's do the day. Let's do the day. What are we doing today? I think we're probably down a little bit today. Yeah, we're down 0.5% today, which is actually not bad. Now, we noticed how we came right up to the 200-day moving average at $1, and, well, it's at 190. We came up to like 188 yesterday. We're holding up here, though. We're flagging up here, though. That's nice. We get above this 200. The only thing between us and, a big old run is the 50 at $2.05. So I'm watching this very carefully, very, very carefully. We had a bit of a falling wedge here. Yeah, I have so many things on my chart. Can I just delete some of these? Yeah, I should delete like this one. No, I like it there. Ah, I don't know which lines to delete. I like some of my lines. I like so many of my lines. Um, Anyways, we got this green line in our way. We need to get above that green line. Now, what we've seen here is something of a falling wedge. Let me try to notice how, let's see here. Let me just kind of, there we go. There, something like that. So we've been seeing this kind of falling wedge pattern. Let me delete this actually. This kind of pattern where price has been compressing, honestly, for a really long time in like a bit of a falling wedge pattern. You can see it right here coming from the top and then from here from the bottom. When we break out of this pattern, that falling wedge type of pattern, when we break out of that, that's going to be really, really intense. And in fact, the possibility is that we could go back to the cycle highs, which were in the $3 range, $4 range. That is a possibility off of a wedge like that. Doesn't mean it will happen, just means that it could. And you'll see that it was a similar sort of story kind of over here as well. Let me go here, let me draw it. So we had this big falling pattern here, and we had another like compression of price like that. You see how we did that? And then as soon as it broke, look at what it did. It went all the way from under $1 to 357 off of that tiny wedge. Look how much bigger our wedge is. Pretty big. I mean, I guess arguably you could say it starts here, which it's still bigger. It's still, even if it starts all the way over here in April, it's bigger. It's still bigger than it was back here. And look at how that launched us. That took us to the moon. All right. So keep your eyes on that. There's also, I mean, there were a couple of them in here like that broke. Like we had this one here, like where it went like this and like this, and then that broke and it went sideways until it did another one and then whew, took off. We could see something like that too, where like we have that big wedge that goes sideways for a while, and then when it takes off by hundreds of percent. But what I am expecting here is a pretty big move, especially once they start executing on an exahash. They give us a 12 exahash, they give us a new CEO. I am looking for $3 plus on Bitfarms sometime this year based on the chart patterns right now. Of course, that could not come, that could not happen. Well, obviously, any of this could go bad. I could be wrong. But I've got bags that say I think it's going to do it. That's all. Let's take a look at Mara. How's Mara doing today? I've been in my calls for Mara since somewhere. When did I sell? I sold before this big drop, actually. I sold on this day here on May 6th. May 6th or 7th, I sold for like, what did I make? About $500-600. I'm already up again. How much am I up? I think I'm up it again, like another $300 already on this. Let's take a look. Real quick. Let me see here. Load. Come on. Yeah, I'm up another 300 on that already, so that's pretty fantastic. I'm very happy about that. I really wanted to add more to my Mara position down here, but I wasn't quick enough, and now it came right back up, roaring up. We'll see if it can close the week out over 20. I might go into another one, expecting it to move up to like $22, $23 on Mara. Mara's down almost 1% today. Not amazing price action, but we are outside of this descending channel right now, moving towards the center of this much bigger ascending channel here, which would take us up to, 21, almost $22. We go to the top of this ascending channel here. I mean, it might take a couple of weeks, so it might be out in like June or July. We're looking at $29, $30 again on Mara, which if you've noticed before, it likes to pop out above the channel here. So even if it does that again, we'd be looking at it coming out possibly back to 35 on Mara. So that's pretty exciting. Let's take a look at RIOT. How is RIOT doing this morning? Down almost 2% today. My RIOT calls are crying. I got them in the $11 range. We're at $10 right now. That sucks. But we did break this descending channel. I like that. We're slightly above 50 on the RSI, so I like where that is sitting as well. The fact that this descending channel is breaking today, if it stays outside of it and closes the week outside of it, I'm feeling bullish at least up to about $12 on RIOT in the short term. Long term, I'm looking at a head and shoulders. Right here, we got a shoulder right here in late March, mid-April, we have the head. We are forming the shoulder right now. If we get back above, and let's go right about like here, something like this. We get above this green line, which intersects with this orange line. Basically, we get above $11 and like 80 cents. we're looking at a potential inverse head and shoulders. If the inverse head and shoulders plays out, and that's a big if it does, we're going back to the top of this channel. The top of this channel is about $16 on RIOT. That would be fantastic for my calls. Hopefully, if you've got anything that would in RIOT, that would be fantastic for you as well. Let's do one little look at the CIFRW warrants today, and then we'll take a look at Bitcoin. CIFRW warrants are up 5% today. Nice, $1.22, awesome. I was buying these at 80 cents, and now it's at $1.22. I'm up hundreds of dollars on this. Awesome, fantastic. If you're playing these, I hope you're also doing very well on them. Let's take a look at digital. Let's take a look at Bitcoin now. What's going on with the Bitcoin? This is not the right chart. Where is my chart? Bitstamp. Thank you. All right. We did it, guys. We did it. We came right up to my, look at my line. Yes. Right up to my line at $66,900. And then it stopped right at my line. How did I know it was going to do that? I didn't. I just do technicals. And technicals, most of the time, they work out. They don't always work out, but they often do. Anyways, we are looking at an inverse head and shoulders playing out on Bitcoin. The fact that we are closing up here right now is absolutely amazing. If we can get up and above this $66,000 mark, we're going to go to the top of this channel, which is at $67,000, $68,000. When we get out of that channel, we're going to go right for $70,000. We're going to go for new all-time highs again. We get out of this channel right here. Give me a good old squiggly boy. We get out of that channel. We are very quickly going to go to $100,000. Look at this thing. This thing is a thing of beauty. Let's go to the weekly chart. All right, we got a big old cup. Started back here on November 8th, came all the way down to $15,000, went all the way back up to $74,000. We pulled back all the way down to $56,000, making a handle. It's a little handle. It is a little handle. It's not a huge handle, but Bitcoin likes to make little handles in gigantic runs. Let's take a look at another cup and handle back here. So look back here, right? This one's pretty ugly, but again, it is a cup and handle. Right here, starting July 1st, going to August 17th, we had that kind of ugly cup. We got this tiny little handle where we dropped from 12,500 down to 9,800. And from there, we went from 9,800 all the way up to $65,000 off of that tiny little handle right there. Look how much bigger this handle is than that. How high do you think that's going to go? Like realistically, how high do you think that's going to go? That's going to be a monster move. Let me just illustrate that further by showing you the SPY. This is the weekly on the SPY. All right. See anything familiar here? And if you were with me back here, I was talking about this. I was talking about this for a while. We had a cup here. Starts January 3rd. Let me get my drawings out. All right. It started on January 3rd. Came all the way down to $347 from $480. Went all the way back up to $457. Then we had that drop from $457 in this handle right here. We went from $457 down to $409. Where are we now? $530. This is the pattern on the weekly chart that is playing out in Bitcoin right now. And Bitcoin, as you know, is a much more volatile asset. So when this handle breaks, realistically, how high do you think this thing's going to go? So keep an eye on that. Now, that doesn't mean go pile into Bitcoin right now. It's going to $1 million or anything. It means that there's a pattern that is playing out, that has played out before, that is a well-known pattern. And when it starts to confirm, hasn't confirmed yet, it needs to confirm. Never jump into anything before it has confirmed. Otherwise, you are just gambling and you will lose money and you will be crying about it. So don't do that. We wait for confirmation. Once we get that confirmation, this thing will likely run and run hard. Now, I think we're going to get that confirmation. I think we are. Can't be certain. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. But I do think we're going to get it. And I think that this inverse head and shoulders that just broke the neckline yesterday on Bitcoin's daily chart, I think this head and shoulders is going to take us out of this channel and take us back to all-time highs. I think it very likely could, because if you see the inverse head and shoulders, it ends up here at about $70,000. You can see the body right here. It goes like this, like that, right? And then this move should take us back up to about here, maybe even a little higher. That's what it should look like if it plays out to perfection. Doesn't mean it will. Could be manipulated. Bitcoin often is. So keep your eyes on it. Pay attention. This could happen. All right. very last thing I wanted to talk about today is one, money market funds. So the money for this, the information for this comes out today. Says the report isn't out yet, but this is still growing. The fact that this is still growing means that the economy is still potentially strong. At least the stock market is still has potential for strength because there's over $6 trillion sitting on the sidelines waiting to be deployed. When that gets deployed, we go bonkers on quite a lot of assets, especially the risk on ones. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so this is what needs to update. Right here, see we're over $6 trillion right now. This is from 5/8. It should update to today, later today or tomorrow. I'll cover it when it does. So that's something that we're going to keep an eye on because this money is itching to get into the market. It is itching to send the SPY flying high, to send Bitcoin flying high, and many other things flying high. That's what we're looking at right now for that. And that's all I've got for you today. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.